This segment of Delmarva Life is brought to you by Gateway Subaru.
In nearly 4 years since we started Delmarva Life, we figured out just how much Delmarva loves pets. Our Pet Connect segment that runs every week is very popular among viewers. Because of it, dozens of homeless cats and dogs have found new homes with loving humans.
You know, Sean, I guess you could call those Cinderella stories. Well, today we have the story of a homeless dog that didn't make it into a shelter. Instead, he was left for dead in a ditch on a cold winter's night. Fortunately, his story didn't end there.
His name is Longshot, and when you hear his story, you'll understand why. He looks pretty happy and healthy here, but that wasn't the case when he was brought into the Eastern Shore Animal Hospital in Painter, Virginia last winter. Dr. Drew Humphreys was the first to examine him. Right away, Dr. Humphreys suspected Longshot had been shot with a shotgun.
I think he ended up having over 100 shot pellets in him, primarily on one side of his body, but there were a couple on the opposite side, which made us believe that he could have potentially been shot twice.
Longshot's injuries were definitely life-threatening, but Dr. Humphreys and his colleagues knew he could be saved. After all, he had already made it through the night, as witnesses say they had heard the gunshots the night before.
When he did come in, he was more or less unresponsive, bleeding a lot, but through stabilizing him initially, we figured that most of his issues could be corrected.
But some of the damage was irreparable. Buckshot had penetrated his left eye, which ultimately had to be removed. He also lost a tooth. Once Longshot was in better physical shape, it was time to start thinking about finding him a new home. But Dr. Humphreys says he had some behavior problems that needed to be addressed.
Some people have offered, ultimately, even with his behavioral issues, that they could continue to work on that. Like any other dog, it's a continual process, but we just wanted a little bit more time to make sure that he ultimately had the best chance of a successful adoption.
And it's not hard to see why so many people are attracted to Longshot. There's something special about him.
He really wants to be loved. He's very playful. Unfortunately with his size, he's pretty strong too, so he can unfortunately overpower some smaller people. So that's one of the big things. He's great jumping, so trying to escape. So I think it's just his overall joy for life that has drawn people to him, and unfortunately the negative situation in which he was brought to us.
Longshot was eventually sent to an animal hospital in North Carolina that had a highly recommended behavior class. But when an article was published claiming that the Eastern Shore Animal Hospital had basically loaded him off on them, Dr. Humphreys and his colleagues immediately arranged for him to be returned.
It was quite the opposite. We had sent him down there for his sake, to give him the best chance for adoption. While we didn't finish the process incomplete, we definitely have noted some pretty marked strides. Dr.
Humphrey says he's also become a favorite of the employees at the animal hospital.
He's extremely affectionate. One of the nicest dogs that I know. He just, like I said earlier, he just wants to be loved, and it seems like for all these years that he's been alive, he's making up for lost time.
Oh, Longshot, and I'm happy to report Longshot continues to do well. He's still at the Eastern Shore Animal Hospital in Accomack County, and as far as adopting him out, they're carefully checking prospective adoptees, because they want to make sure they have a good match.
He deserves that. Well, Longshot's story is certainly one that warms the heart. And Lisa, there's another furry friend that will do the same. Meet Mama. It was a long shot that she too would have a second chance at life. You see, she had lived at the Worcester County Humane Society for 12 years, since she was 3 months old, but finally her big day recently came when this man, Patrick Priest, adopted her. He says older cats deserve a loving home too, and Lisa, I could not agree more.
That is such a wonderful story. Well, there are so many animals on Delmarva, just like Mama, that could use a loving home. Do you ever think you could be the one to change their life?
Well, let's introduce you to some of them in today's Pet Connect. We start today at the Humane Society of Wicomico County. Meet Ping Pong. I love that name. She's a 1-year-old boxer mix with lots of love and energy. We're told Ping Pong is very smart and learns quickly, but she needs a family that will give her plenty of exercise. Angel is also at the Humane Society of Wicomico County. She is a 6-year-old spayed domestic short-hair cat. We're told Angel is very sweet, and she's a love bug. She enjoys lying in the sun on a soft bed. She also has a lot of play in her.
Our next stop is at the First State Animal Center and SPCA in Camden. This sweet face here is Fluffy. Fluffy is a 4- to 5-year-old terrier with lots of energy, and love to give. We're told Fluffy needs an active cuddle buddy. You'll find Selma at the Talbot Humane in Easton. This 2-year-old kitty came to the shelter as the mama to kittens earlier this year. Her babies have found homes. Now it's her turn. Selma is spayed and up to date on her shots.
And finally, meet Jade, who is also at the Talbot Humane in Easton. Jade is a 2-year-old spayed bulldog mix. We're told her favorite things were tennis balls, playing fetch, and as you can see, taking a dip in the kiddie pool.
And for more information on the cats and dogs featured in today's Pet Connect, go to WBOC.com, click on our picture at the top of the page.
Well, someone you certainly want to take care of is your child, but is it necessary for them to take vitamins? Up next, we hear from the experts, and the answer may surprise you.
And this may surprise you. The amount of fruits and vegetables being thrown away each and every day in the school lunchroom. Find out why it's not about choice, but more about time.
Plus, learn about 2 ladies who are serving up farm-to-table frozen. Find out how they're bringing families healthy organic options and from where they grab their inspiration. Delmarva Life will be right back.